fellas, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, TJ, Elko, Christopher. Let me take my cover off. We are going to welcome back. So we are going to remove, we're going to remove everything. We're going to remove all these hoses. What's up, 301? We're going to look at this starter wire. Look at that starter wire. We're going to start removing everything. So we're just going through here and we're going to remove all these little zip ties. We're going to move all these zip ties and we're going to pull all this fuel line. This fuel line is for carburetor. I don't know what this is for. That was like I say, I don't know what that was for. It wasn't even hooked up. I didn't hook that up, but it's right there. They run it through. All right, so check this out. This is the cross member for the original transmission. This is the cross member that they put in here. Look, can y'all see that? They put a bolt in there to fill up the gap and just weld it. Just weld it, baby. Just weld it. This is a 63 Impala. It is a 63. It is a 63 Impala. 63 Impala. So what I'm doing here is I'm going through and I'm cutting all the zip ties, and we're going to pull all this hoses and wires. We're gonna pull all these hoses and wires out. That's what we're gonna do. And I don't know what, so look here. So this was the gas line, right? So I don't understand what they had going on, right? So they cut it right here. This is the gas line for the original, right? Original carburetor. It goes up, comes out here, goes like that, comes up, and then they got it twisted up in there, right? I don't know what they had going on. I really don't. But this is what they did. They come right here and they bent it here and then reroute it and ran it this way and run it all the way up the frame rail and run that way and then come back around that way. So I don't know why they done that. I don't know why they done that. And I'm not even going to try to figure out why they done that. Not at all. Not even going to try to figure out why they done that. And then here's then that line that they added, this right here, goes up, goes around, comes around, and goes right into the fuel tank. You can see that right there. It goes right into the fuel tank. And so that's that. So I'm not really sure honestly, I'm not really sure what these lines are for. Unless I don't understand. I don't know. I'm still trying to find the airlines. I was thinking maybe they hid the airlines into this, you know, to protect them, but there's no airline. I wonder if they run the airline. I wonder if they run this airline in the frame. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know, Elko. I honestly, see there's another line. Look, see there's another one. Now the bags has got air in them. The bags has got air in them because I pumped the son of the guns up. But it had 1/2 inch lines on it at one time. Look, here's the 1/2 inch lines. They just cut. So this thing had 1/2 inch lines on it at one time. So there's 1/2 inch line on this end that don't have nothing hooked up. Here's 1/2 inch line on this end that ain't got nothing hooked up. Here's another line right here that ain't hooked up. Here's a mercy brake cable that's cut. It's a damn mystery hunt, boys and girls. It's a damn mystery hunt. All right. Well, we just mystery line. All right. Let me go get my hose cutter. My hose cutter. I got 2 hose cutters. I got this one. And then I got this one. So I think this is a job for this one. Either in the frame. Yeah, it could be inside, Elko. Could be inside. There might be some truth to that. Could be inside. Because I know they went to 1/8 inch lines. So they could have run it inside. So you might, and that might, you know what, Elko? You know what, Elko? You know what, Elko? There might be some truth to that. Because when you dump the air ride now, you hear it and smell it on the inside of the compartment. You smell that tire smell, that Firestone smell. So it dumps the air on the inside of the car. So there might be some truth to that. No, I don't have no SS Monte Carlos. Why's it got to be an SS? Why can't it just be a Monte Carlo? Did you see any water holes? Water holes? All right, what are we looking for? So since we don't need these, boy, I bet that thing, hey, Elko, I bet that thing jumped off the ground like nobody's business with 1/2 inch line. I'm going to go on and tell you. So we're going to take all these lines. Yeah. We're going to take all these lines. I'm going to set this camera down. I'll catch up with the comments here in a second, okay? So y'all let me hang tight. So I have a mini race car and a body is an SS Monte Carlo I need. You know what, Christopher? You are the 5th person that's mentioned that to me in the last week about painting little bitty race cars. Mail it to me, I'll paint it. Mail it to me, I'll paint it. All right, so we're getting all these. Now I know this line's still hooked up. That's the power going to. That's the power going to the back battery for the alternator. I know that. So we're going to keep this. Now so this over here on this side, there's another one. Oh. There's another one. The car, but the car can't be mailed because it's the body's firewall glass. All right. So we got that. We got that one. So now, boys and girls, let's take a little look. I don't know. They ain't no telling. Elko, they ain't no telling. All right, so we got that. Got those pulled out. So this is the old transmission. This is the original transmission mount because it probably had a 2-speed power glide in it. They put a 700R in it, and then see how they done the brackets, and they just put a bolt up there like that, and just stuck it in there and welded it. They done the same thing right there. They just put a bolt in there and welded it. Didn't even weld it on the backside. It we'll have to, I'll have to address that. We'll address that at a later date. We need to put some, wire plates on it for dragging frame. You see right here, I need to take some metal, get some AR plate, and put some AR plate right here. You can see where it's been dragging the frame right there. Same thing on this side. Need to cap this with some AR plate. Yeah, all right, appreciate it. Like I said, I don't know what they were doing with the gas line, why they cut the gas line and rerouted it. I don't know what they were doing. Cause see right here, it comes up and then it goes right there. So what's AR plate? Yeah. What's AR plate? AR plate is it's metal. It's metal that if you go pew pew, it will not go through, and it has an amazing wear. It has amazing wear proof. So they use it in a lot of applications, log decks, chain decks, and it's pew pew. You know what I'm saying? Pew pew. Like if you was to pew pew, it won't go through it. So, but see, that's what they did here. They put some type of plate here for a drag plate, but they didn't put nothing here. Right. Yeah, AR 400. Yep, AR 400. Yep, that's what it is. So they didn't put nothing here. So I need to fix that. Hey, get on out of here. Yeah. Get. You didn't put your damn roller skates on this morning, did you? All right, so that's that. So we're gonna keep this red wire. This red wire here, we're gonna keep it because this is the alternator wire that charges the battery in the trunk for the air ride. So we're gonna keep that wire. I don't know what the hell that wire is. Yeah, TT was slipping, wasn't she? She's slipping in the sliding. All right, so let's let this thing down some. And let's let this down and let's get in the engine bay and clean up the engine bay and see what kind of mess we got going on up there. Let's turn some lights on. So yeah, so we're gonna let this thing down, get in here and clean up some wire. We're gonna get in here and start cleaning up the engine bay. Here's the starter wire. There's a starter wire. There's the key switch wire. All this stuff is gonna get replaced. Let's get up here and figure out what they was doing with this gas line. Now this car's getting fuel injection. So I'll show you in here. It's getting fuel injection and everything's already here. I just got to reroute it. So it's getting all this fuel injection, all that, because that's what's going in it is a Blueprint 350. Fuel injection with Sniper 2. So we got to get all this stuff cleaned up. And let's turn these lights out. Don't need the lights on in here. So we're gonna let this thing down. Yeah, we're gonna let this thing down and we're gonna get in the engine bay. And we're gonna clean it up. Oh, before I let this thing down, let me tell you this. So I reached out to Wool Wax, right? And I'm saying wool. W-O-O-L, wax. Wool Wax. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying Wool Wax. Wool Wax. All right. So I reached out to them and I talked to Bob. Bob was a super good guy. I talked to Bob. told him what I had going on, told him what I used to do, told him what my process was, and was seeing if I could find a better, efficient process for my clients. Now, wool wax is up north where Mac's at, Metal Art Garage, New England, New York, Canada, stuff like that, right? So with that being said, wool wax is up north where they have a lot of salt, brine, and stuff like that on the road. Well, down here in North Carolina, where I'm at in the middle of the state, we very seldom, every now and then we'll get that stuff, right? Very seldom. Very seldom. Now, I mean, sometimes we get a lot of snow, but it's very, very seldom. So normal process would be strip the bottom of the car, 2K epoxy it, undercoat it with Sims or Raptor or something, Raptor, Sims, quartz, some type of bed liner material. Now, the wheel wells, I will put bed liner material on the wheel wells. Now, I will do that. Now, we're talking about everything else, right? So I talked to Wool Wax this morning after I got off the first live with you guys, and he says, Bob, super great guy. He's like, look, you don't have to do that no more. He says, anything that's bare metal, put a 2K primer on it or a 2K epoxy, and then just put our application on it, and you pretty much it. And he says, up here in New Hampshire, he said, we have to retreat the bottom of cars of 3 to 5 years just to spots that, little spots here and there because it stays wet. It stays open, right? It never dries hard, right? So they got two kits. They got a kit that dries hard, and then they got a kit that stays moist and wet. And yeah, it just shields it from everything, right? So with that being said, I was like, okay, cool. He said, well, up here in upstate Maryland, we have to retreat them like every 5, 6, 7 years, depending on. He said, in North Carolina, you probably wouldn't have to do it, but maybe once every 10 years, and it's just a little touch-up, even if it's that. He said, your client could literally drive that car through a car wash every day and not wash our stuff off. And I said, okay, great. So normally what I would do is put 2K epoxy down, let that flash off, then do like the Sims or the undercoating. That stuff comes in 5-liter kits. It's about $300 a kit now, plus or minus. It'd probably take 2 kits to do the car, so that's $600 plus or minus, and then you got to do all that stuff. So it adds up like super quick. Well, he said 2.5 gallons would do this whole car underneath, and you can get it in. They said you can get it in amber color or straw color. You can get it in black or you can get it in gray. So I went ahead and ordered. I wanted to get to talk to somebody on the phone today. So I talked to Bob. Bob's a super great guy. So I ordered a 2.5 gallon kit. It comes with a spray nozzle. It comes with the spray gun, the spray nozzle, and the wands. The wands, and I'm not saying wand like J-U-A-N. I'm saying wand, W-A-N-D, wand. Comes with a spray wand where you can run it inside. You can run the wand up into the frame rail and coat the inside of the frame rail, inside the rockers, inside the doors. So that is cool. So that right there is going to be a new thing. So let's get this car down. Let's get in there in the engine bay. And he also said they sell that stuff in 55-gallon barrels. And he said it might be something that you might want to offer to a lot of people. So that's another reason why I need that lift station over there done, because if I can put that out there, I actually filled out the information for the dealer app to become a dealer for them and start spraying that stuff. And so that's what we're looking at right now. So just trying to give y'all a little bit of information. It's actually, so that's what I'm looking at now, is looking at more products to offer my clients. So let's get this bad boy on the ground. Never walk underneath the car with it unlocked. Never, 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 never. Never, 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 never. Never walk underneath the car when you're unlocking it. Never. All right, boys and girls. Yeah, TJ, yeah, business expansion. You know, it's always. Oh yeah, and I got a tech call today too. I got to do a tech call with this company right here, and we gonna have this son gun up and running. If Johnny Be Good is at work today, we're gonna have this thing running today. If Johnny Be Good's at work today, we're gonna get that thing running today. Johnny Be Good. Ah, crap, man. My daggone handheld's blinking. My handheld's blinking. My little gimbal's blinking. All right, boys and girls. I don't know what. All right, I'm gonna have to take y'all off this gimbal. Y'all see it blinking? Let me go in here and plug it up. Yeah, and you know the thing about it is, Carolina, yeah, it's costing me money. That's, you best believe that. That thing's gonna have to work overtime. Here's the thing about Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good is the only one that can remotely access your computer. So he's the only one at the company that can remotely access your computer. So the rest of them can't. So with that being said, let's get in here. Y'all gonna have to bear with me, because I'm gonna have to get in here and hold the camera so I can get y'all some footage. Where's my stew? Where's my stew? I even talked to, there it is. So I even talked to Bob. I even talked to Bob at Wool Wax. He said, yeah, we up here in upstate New Hampshire, up there, Maine, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, tell me all about that clam chowder. He's like, what? I said, tell me all about. I said, tell me all about that clam chowder. He said, man, that shit will kill you. And I said, what? He said, man, that clam chowder will kill you, man. I said, come on, my guy. He said, man, clam chowder, man, that shit is fattening and will kill you. I said, really? He said, oh, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, clam chowder. I said, but it's good, though. Oh, come on now. I said, but it's good, though. He said, oh, yeah, it's good, but it'll kill you. And I said, will it? He said, oh, yeah. He said, it'll kill you. And I said, well, at least you're honest. And he said, yeah, man, you can't. He said, you can't eat that stuff all the time, man. That stuff will kill you. And I said, oh, okay, I see what they did now. They slid this over. This is the new line. This is the line that runs down the rocker. I said, yeah, I said, I had a buddy. I said, I had a buddy that was, I had a buddy that was from Boston, Massachusetts, and every time he would go home, on leave, when we were stationed on the East Coast, he'd come back and he said that his mama would feed him all kinds of damn clam chowder and stuff like that. And he said that he said, man, that stuff will kill you. It's fattening. See, a lot of this stuff, like, see this right here? See that? They just cut a hole and run it through the, see where they done that? I don't know what they got going on. I really don't. And it's gonna suck because I got one hand. Let me see if I can set y'all up. Man, y'all just gonna have to bear with me, man. I apologize, I really do. Man, I really do. Let me find something I can prop my phone up on. I apologize. That gimbal, man, I guess it's on its last leg, I guess. It don't hold a charge no more. I mean, I just did an hour video this morning and it's already dead. So I guess every time after I do a live, I guess I'm gonna have to plug it up, I guess. So I apologize for the inconvenience of that. Let me see if I can find something that's got a little bit of backbone to set the camera up so y'all can see, because that's the whole objective. The whole objective is to show y'all what I got going on. So, all right, let's get back to it. All right, so anyways, that's what we're doing. We're getting in here. A lot of this stuff's getting replaced. That's why it didn't really matter if it got blasted or whatever. There we go. So a lot of this stuff ain't getting reused, so that's why it didn't matter. But anyways, so we're getting in here, we're taking the heater hoses off. The heater hoses look like they're in pretty good shape. They look like they've been replaced. They're not dry rotted on the end. So you got your 3/4. So you got your 3/4 heater hose, and 3/4 is 3 line 4 or 0.75. So the fraction of it is 3/4, which is 3/4. The decimal part of it is 0.75. And if somebody's gonna say, well, I can't do fractions, and I'm gonna say, well, you can do numbers, can't you? You can do money. So if I got $1, and I tell you, give me 3/4, if I give you $1 and say, man, give me change, and you give me 4/4 back, guess what? That's 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. 3/4, 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, that's 3/4. 3/4, 3/4. All right? See that what you just done? You just done some math. Now, this heater coil and this heater box, or 75 cents, this heater coil is getting replaced. All this heater stuff is getting replaced with vintage air. So boy, this thing tricky like damn Rum DMC, boy. All right, so we're gonna save this hose. We're gonna save the other hose. We're just cutting it back. So we're gonna keep this hose because they look like they're pretty decent hoses. All right. Would y'all rather be down in here? Is this a better spot? I'm trying to find y'all a good spot, man. So There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking with gas. Y'all get up here up and personal. All right. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order me one of them gimbal sticks. Put that sun gun. Has anybody got one of them 72-inch camera sticks that follows you? Anybody got one of them? If you do, let me know. And if you do, let me know which one you got. So what I'm doing is I am getting the battery cables out for the starter, which they're no good. They're burnt, and I'm not questioning them. I'm not putting them back in here, and I'm gonna show you. All right, look here. See that? That's the starter wire. See that right there? That's the starter wire. Y'all see that? That ain't no good, fam. That ain't no good, fam. That ain't no good. See that? No good. No good. No good. Look, burn on that side too. Look at there. See that? Look. So it's bad on that spot. Bad on that spot. That ain't no good. No good, fam. No good. No good. No good. So we got that. All right, so now this wire right here. So if you worked on GMs a long time, you kind of know purple, starter wire, red, 12-volt battery wire. So don't know the condition of these wires. Not gonna say we're not gonna say we're gonna reuse them, and not gonna say we're not gonna reuse them. Just don't know at this time. All right. Just don't know at this time. So we're gonna pull that over. But right there's the airline. Elko, my dog. Elko, my dog. Look here, Elko. What did we say? Run it through the compartment. Look, there's the 1/8-inch airline going down to the airbags. Look where they went, my guy. They went right through. They went right through the firewall. See that hole that they cut in the firewall? Let me turn y'all around here. See that hole they cut in the firewall? So all the exhaust fumes and everything that was in here, the driver and the passenger said that's what they smelled. Well, I mean, if you look right there, that's the glove box. That's the glove box, fam. That's the glove box. That's the glove box. That's the glove box. Yep. So, all right, so here is some heater. I mean, they tried. I mean, we give them an E for effort. They wrapped. So what's this tell you? All right, let's take a second. Let's take a second. Y'all want to take a second and let's do some investigating. All right. Look, that's the ground. Look at that ground. That ground ain't. I bet they had ground problems. Look at that. All right, let's look at this right here for a second, fam. Let's look at this. All right. Let's look at this for a second. All right. This was the gas line. All right. This was the gas line. They got this thing wrapped in fiberglass. Does anybody want to take a guess why they had this wrapped in fiberglass? Why did they have the fuel line wrapped in fiberglass? So we'll let that stew for a second, and then we'll come back to that in a minute. Come back to that in a minute. We'll come back to that in a minute. So, well, that's a good That's a good suggestion. I mean, that's a good guess, TJ. But not leaking. It's not wet fiberglass. It's just fiberglass. So, all right. All right, 301. 301, explain to everybody what you said, 301. Gas line heating up. And what does that cause when the gas line heats up, 301? You can see where it was getting hot. You can see where it was getting hot. All right, go ahead, Carolina. Go ahead, Carolina. Go ahead, Carolina. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, big dog. Say it. Yep. Everybody that said vapor lock and hot fuel. Yep. That's right. Yep. Yep, that was, well, it was some type of an exhaust loop. Yeah, some type of an exhaust loop. Sometimes I done ripped my pants. All right, let's turn this camera around. Let me see what y'all got. Let me see what we got going on. All right, so this right here, this wire here was plugged up in the distributor. This right here, this was the oil pressure. Yeah, Nina answered it first. She said vapor lock. So, yep. So this right here was for the oil pressure gauge that was down there on the bottom. We're not using that. We're not using that no more. This is for the throttle. So we're probably going to try to reuse that. This wiring harness here, I don't know exactly what they got going on. Honestly, there's a wire that, oh, this wire right here goes over to the heater box. That's the heater box. There's a ground. We need to get a socket to get that off. I don't know what. I bet that wire goes to the heater. It's a 63 Impala. So somebody put a new wiring harness on it at one time because, see, they left the wires. They just left the wires bunched up, left right there. So we're gonna go through here and see what we got. Like I said, somebody put a new wiring harness at one time or another, let me take this, an updated wiring harness, but nothing worked. None of the gauges worked. The speedometer didn't work. That's what I figured right there. Yeah, this is the, this right here goes to the heater or goes to the fan switch. That's what I figured. But see, they just run it right through the firewall. They didn't even. So we have to get inside the car and we'll pull all these wires out because I got to fix this hole. All right. This right here this was the temperature sending unit that they put down on the bottom of the dash because the gauges don't work on the dash. But we're gonna fix all that. So that's that. We got to get Got to get a socket to get that ground loose. And then we're going to trace these wires all the way back. All right, here's this wire right here is 12 volt key source. So this is 12 volt key source because it goes to the distributor. Because it had an HEI distributor in it. So that's that. So let's go get a socket so we can get that out. Let's go get a socket. We about got this thing cleaned out. And then once we get it cleaned out, we will, inspect everything, see what we got going on. I'm probably willing to bet that bolt's probably not that tight, honestly. So let's see. That's one way to do it. TJ, I just barely touched it now. That wasn't I didn't even use my strong arm. I didn't even use my strong arm. See, they just left. What? They just left. See, they just left wires. See, that red wire is hot. So I don't know what. That says alternator extension. That white wire says alternator extension. Purple wire ain't got no name on it. Red wire is probably hot. Purple wire is probably hot. That white wire says alternator extender. No. Take that back. Alternator exciter. So that white wire is the alternator exciter that makes the alternator start charging, and it ain't even hooked up. Look, it wasn't even hooked up. There's the air line right there. There's the air line. And like Elko said, it runs right into the engine compartment. Or right into the engine, but right into the cabin or to the car. So that's that. Yeah, so we're gonna get all these. Cut the red one. Yeah, cut the red one. So yeah, we're going to man down, man down, man down. So now we can get rid of the fuel lines. We can get rid of them because it's going fuel injection. So we got all new fuel injection lines. So we can get rid of that. So let's pick it back up and see what we got going on there. And So we're gonna clean this up. We're gonna get the rest of these wires out, or rest of the hoses, clean all that stuff out. Got some rust going on right here, right there. You see right there. Got a little rust going on there. Hey, Elko, Elko probably ran it like. Yeah, Elko, you back? Yeah, so they run it through the car is where they run it. Elko, you was right. We was right. You was right. Whoever. All right, so let's pick it back up, and yeah, see here's the secondary battery. So I put that battery in there, and then it's got air ride. So I gotta fix all that. Gotta fix all that. And then we'll go from there. So. All right, we're going up, boys and girls. Going up, going up, going up. Yeah, everything's still good. Going up. For the ones that was asking me, this is a Eagle 9C. It's a 9,000 pound lift. I got this lift during the I can't even say it. Somebody drop it down in the comments. I got this lift during the so I think this lift, I think it was around $1,300 for this lift. I think they're like $3,600 now. I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. You'd have to look it up. It's a 9C. It's a 9C and it's a Eagle. Yeah, John Q. You'd have to look. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So I let it down. It's on the locks. Once it's on the locks, and this is how you know it's on the locks. So I go to let it down, and it don't do nothing. So it's secure, and now I can get underneath it. So we're gonna go ahead and pull all this gas line out. I'm gonna pull all this gas line out because we don't need it. It's just we just don't need it no more. See, matter of fact, right here's where it ends. See, they'd cut it, so we're gonna remove. Now again, this car is not a show car. This car is not going to be a show car. So there is some things that not going to be done on this car that normally would be typically done on other cars. So this car is, again, not a show car. It's going to be a driver, but we're going to make it nice, you know. And there's some things we're going to do, and there's some things we ain't going to do. So for anybody that's sitting in the background saying, "Oh, that's not how you do that," well, it's okay. I understand. Like I said, you know, I don't understand why they cut the fuel line. They cut the fuel line and then bent it and then rerouted it all the way back around to come to right there. I mean, oh yeah, somebody's been here with a welder. Oh yeah, for sure. They welded new mounts for a 700R. This car actually had a 2-speed power glide in it, and somebody put this bracket here and this bracket here, and they also put a bolt in the hole to fill it the void, and they done the same thing on that side, and they didn't even weld on that side, and they didn't weld on that side. The original cross member was right here for the 2-speed Power Glide. And they put a 700R in it, which I dropped off last week at the transmission shop. So I will come in here and clean all this up and clean this up a little bit. You can see that this mount is semi-level. This mount is semi up the hill. So, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'll address everything I need to address. They actually come in here and cut this out. And the reason why they cut this out is so the dry shaft could drop down when they picked it up on the air ride. So I need to come in here and clean all this up. Need to get some AR 400 plate and plate the bottom of the frame rails where it's been dragging frame, and run a piece of flat AR plate. Take and make a template right here. Put a piece of cardboard up here. Put a piece of cardboard up here. Draw it out, a template of this right here with some AR plate, and take that template up to the place up the road and have them cut out some AR plate, skid plates, because it has to be cut out with an oxyacetylene torch. So have them to cut out some plates, and then I put it up there, and then I'll weld the skid plates on there to do that on the bottom. Also, they welded some angle iron and some flat bar or whatever they got going on here. And for the power steer, they got power steering rack on here. So I'll take my grinder and I'll cut these corners, and I'll radius these corners where they're not so sharp, so somebody hits them with their head. I'll come in here and I'll clean this up right in here, and I'll run a weld bead right there, and then I'll kind of run a bead weld right there to keep it from flexing a little bit. Appreciate it, Elko. It does not have shocks on the front. They cut the brackets off for the shocks. You got one bracket there that's missing, and then on this side over here, you got the bracket, but you don't have no shocks. So a little bit of stuff here and there. You know, it's not the prettiest welds I've ever seen, but it looks like it held. These are factory welds, and you can see, to give you a little idea, welds don't float up. So that tells you that this chassis was upside down coming down the assembly line when they was welding this. Because you see the drip, the slag, or the welds going down or actually up, because the frame was upside down when it come down the frame rail. Somebody welded exhaust hangers on here. They did the best they could, you know. Not beating another man's work up, you know, not beating them. You're just looking at stuff, you know what I'm saying? This is an X-frame chassis. This is a Canadian X-frame because it's boxed all the way out to the back. So that's that. Yeah, so this fuel line here, see this, I'm gonna have to get this out. Pull this fuel line out here. See, it goes up and goes around, but since this thing's getting fuel injection, I'm gonna have to redo all this. He's got all the fuel lines that came with the kit, so I'm gonna have to mount the fuel pump, the fuel filter, and all that. And here's the thing about it. When you start mounting all this stuff, you need to mount it where you can get to it to work on it, right? To work on it. And you have to be mindful, because see, with the exhaust on this thing, probably more than likely, we're probably gonna have to take the hole saw and cut a hole right here in the frame, and then sleeve the frame right here, right? Probably gonna take somewhere right in here, take the hole saw and cut a hole in the frame, and then run a piece of pipe, a thick wall schedule pipe through the frame rail. Not with the front end hanging off, or somebody freaks out and says, oh, you do that, not when the frame's hanging. Everything will be secured and braced up. Come somewhere right in here and cut a hole. This is an idea. Might have to do it here, or might have to just run the exhaust right here. If we can run it right here, that'll be great. If we can't run it right through there and we got to come through here, what we'll do is we'll cut a hole in the frame and we'll sleeve it, and then we'll weld it back, all right? And then with the AR plate, then the exhaust, We can run the exhaust. The exhaust can come down and turn and go through there, and it'd be two. I would rather go right here. Yes, 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 yes. I would rather go with the exhaust right here without going through there. Yes, you just have to run an external fuel pump. Yes, Nathan. Yes, you can run Holley ejection system with a. Yeah, you can run a fuel system with the stock fuel tank, and you can run returnless, so it doesn't have to have a return line, right? But this one here, I will have to drop the tank, because I will have to drop the tank, and I'll have to drill a hole in the tank because the kit that they sent him is a returnless system, and the returnless system has to have where it goes back into the tank. I would much rather had a system that's non-return, right? That's not returnless. I mean, I would have much rather had a system that was not returnless, so I wouldn't have to run back. But yeah, so here's the fuel pump. So here's the pre-filter, here's the fuel pump, and then you got a post filter, and then it goes, and then it runs to the fuel injection system, and then it goes through the fuel pressure regulator, and then it goes back, and then it goes back into the thing. So yeah. No, I mean, most factory tanks have some type of baffle in it. Baffling is just to keep. Baffling is just to keep, like for road racing, like starving for fuel and stuff like that. So going around curves and stuff, and the fuel sloshes over to one side, and but on these tanks, the pickup's at the very, very bottom. So I don't. It shouldn't have any starvation fuel problems. I mean, it shouldn't, because it doesn't have a drop-in fuel system. It has an external, so it should be okay. I mean, for what it is. Now, if this thing was going to be like a road race car or something like that, no, I'd put a tank with baffles in it. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. We're at the 60-minute mark. Y'all know I like to keep my lives at 60 minutes. So it's 1:30 or it's 1:20. So let's just say it's 1:30. It's 1:30 on the East Coast. It's Monday afternoon. It's 1:30 on the East Coast. I'm gonna try to get some more stuff situated, and then if I got anything worthy to come back on here for an hour, I'll jump back on here for another live for an hour, and then we'll go from there. And I appreciate everybody tapping in. Well, I got a buddy right now that's got a 63 Impala with air ride, ready to go, cranking and driving. Wants $15,500 for it, and it's black. It's like a graphite gray black kind of color. It's a 63. It's got air ride on it. It's got 20s on it. It's got 20s on the back, 18s on the front. It's a driver. You can get in it and drive anywhere you want to. I think he's got it listed for like $15,500, or it's either $15,500 or $16,500. It's somewhere around $15,000, $16,500. So that's that. So nevertheless, I mean, I mean, it just depends on, just depends on the condition, who's got it, how much they want to sell it for, whatnot. Just depends. So I appreciate you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the note. I'm looking for space on the vibrator. Appreciate every single one of you. Hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button. The goal for this week, we hit 6,600 subscribers. I'm trying to give y'all enough content, enough educational stuff, positive motivation, uplifting, no drama, no fuss, no politics, no religion, nothing like that. If you want to do anything like that, we can do it in private. That's not what this channel's about. This channel's about uplifting, motivation, and pushing people to the next level to do better today than they did yesterday and strive to be better tomorrow. So I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. The goal for this car right here is to get everything fixed on the bottom. Then we'll get it 2K epoxy. We'll get some wool wax sprayed, and then we'll set the new, after we get all that done and get the firewall fixed, then we'll set the new engine in it. The new engine is right here. It's a Blueprint engine from Blueprint, fuel injection, mid-Holly drive, makes about 374 horsepower plus or minus and about 400 foot-pounds of torque plus or minus. This right here is what's going in the 63 Impala. The transmission is a 700R. Dropped it off at the transmission shop last week. They said 14 days they would have that thing back to me. Told them to put a 200 PSI ball in it so it maintains 200 PSI, so the detent spring don't have to be adjusted exactly. If it's a little off, it's okay. It's not going to burn the transmission up. Have to get a new floor shifter for it. Got to build exhaust for it. Got to get it, fix the dry shaft, and probably replace the front rack and pinion on it because it's leaking at the seals. Get all that done and do all the wiring, shave the firewall, take out all the gauge clusters, send the gauge cluster to NVU, send the gauge cluster to NVU, have them rebuild the gauge cluster, buy a Vintage Air from Vintage Air, put air conditioner on it because this thing wants to be able to drive it, wants to have cool air in there and be able to be safe. So that's where we're at on this, boys and girls. And also we got the 68 Le Mans, so we got that going on too. And we got the 61 Ford box truck, and we got the 68 C10, and we got the 84 Cutlass, and we got the 86 square body. And don't forget what's down there in the paint booth. The mean dog, the 71 Camaro with the blower, the Whipple. We'll definitely get back on it tomorrow to adjust the coilovers. But today is 63 Impala Day. So I appreciate every single one of you. Hit that subscribe button. No, I run a business. No, this is a business. This is a business. This is a business. No, this is a business. This is a business. These are all clients. These are businesses. Yeah. This is a business. Business, 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 baby. Business, business. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This has went up. So JG Innovation Garage, LLC, we offer 3 kinds of service, good, cheap, and fast, but you can only pick 2. Good and cheap won't be fast, fast and good won't be cheap, cheap and fast won't be good. It's $125 an hour for welding. That right there has changed. I got to fix that. It's $95 an hour for restoration work and paint work plus materials. Remember what I said, boys and girls? Yeah, blue strips. Blue strips. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, boys and girls. Remember what I said? Don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first, that loose end drag piece of. Hold on a second. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. What happened? Yeah, everybody that's in business is either incorporated or an LLC. LLC. Yep, LLC. Yep. All right, boys and girls. Remember what I said, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first, let loose and drag, peace and chicken grease. I'm out.